Let's do the brief. First up, stocks down, dollars up. So major European indexes like Germany's DAX and the UK's TFSE are down more than 3% on the day, while S&P futures are also down around 2%. At the same time, the dollar index is up 0.5%, suggesting people are moving to the dollar as a safer asset. The narrative that I'm seeing that's being used to explain this move is COVID-19 fears. A report came out saying that COVID cases were doubling weekly in the UK, and if the trend continues, there would be 50,000 cases per day by mid-October. There's fear of more shutdowns happening, with Denmark and Greece already having imposed some new restrictions. We're also seeing some resurgence in the US as well, with 12 states reporting at least 1,000 new confirmed cases on Saturday. It's a reminder that the COVID-19 fears, the fear of economic disruption, continues to loom large over our economy, even with any claims of sort of V-shaped recoveries. Next up on the brief, the People's Bank of China has made it clear why the digital yuan is so important. In an article in the PBOC's magazine China Finance, the central bank argued that it needed a digital yuan to break the US dollar's dominance and internationalize the yuan. This magazine came out over the weekend. The PBOC sees digital currency issuance as a, quote, new battlefield of competition. And the reason it's worth noting this article is that it makes the real objective of the digital yuan very, very clear. It is no longer speculation. This is about explicitly breaking the US dollar's dominance. Now, related, I just saw something hit the wires that said Christine Lagarde said the ECB is about to open consultation on a digital euro within days. So far, the US hasn't seemed to feel a lot of pressure around accelerating its digital dollar project or any digital dollar project, but we'll see if that remains when both the ECB and the People's Bank of China are going gangbusters at it. Third on the brief today, let's talk about the scale of Uniswap users. Last week, Uniswap airdropped 400 UNI token crypto stimulus on any ETH address that had used Uniswap in the past. Since then, 140,000 addresses have claimed that UNI. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean 140,000 users, right? Many people have used dozens of addresses potentially, but it still provides some sense of scale. And speaking of all this DeFi craziness, I've said frequently on the show that one of the things that makes it safer than the ICO boom is that the barriers to entry are so high that most of the people who are getting into this have some sense of the real risks involved. Affirming that, Binance has launched what they call an innovation zone to filter out users who want to really gamble with new DeFi coins. It basically involves self-answering a bunch of questions, specifically around whether a user is ready to take 50% or more losses before being allowed to trade new and novel coins. Fourth on the brief today, a follow-up on TikTok. President Trump has approved the Oracle deal in principle and is insisting that Oracle actually, when all is said and done, controls the whole thing. Meanwhile, the WeChat App Store ban was put on hold by a US judge on concerns that it would violate the free speech rights of Chinese American citizens. Here's the key line from Bloomberg and the judge in question. The judge found the government provided insufficient evidence of a security threat. She wrote, "Certainly the government's overarching national security interest is significant. But on this record, while the government has established that China's activities raise significant national security concerns, it has put in scant little evidence that its effective ban of WeChat for all US users addresses those concerns." Expect this battle to continue. And speaking of battles, last up on this brief today is the Nikola founder, Trevor Milton, has resigned. Earlier this month, Hindenburg Research released a report with allegations of fraud that subsequently the SEC has followed up on. In the wake of those allegations, Trevor Milton, the Nikola CEO and co-founder, has resigned. Nikola is, of course, best known for intersecting two hot trends, the electric vehicle trend as well as the SPAC, Special Purpose Acquisition Company trend. For much of the year, it's been a darling of the Robinhood set, so it'll be interesting to see if the hullabaloo around this changes the appetite around SPACs or if this is seen as just something of a road bump.